Our talk today is about the source and the sources of strength in our life and in the life of the Muslims. Strength which he gains from believing and being a believer. When you believe in Allah and you claim that you have Iman, there is consequences will reflect on your demeanor and your behavior and your actions and your deed that inshallah you should uphold. If belief settles in the heart and the soul, it provides strength which reflect on the conduct, confidence, and all-around strength of the believer. If he talks, he is confident in what he says. If he does, he is precise in what he accomplishes. And if he aims, he is sure of his objective. The first source of strength indicating the strength of belief in the heart of the Muslim is the undeniable confidence with the thoughts that fills his mind and the emotions that takes his heart and soul. Doubts and hesitation seldom rattle his soul, so emotion do not shake his stand, and always facing what he encounters of outside thoughts, behaviors, and deed and emotion was what Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to say to the non-believer, to say to those who are in a state of adversity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Say, O Muhammad, O my people, work according to your way. Surely I am working in my way." O people, work according to your ways. Surely I am also working in my way. And you will come to know for which of us will have the happy end in the hereafter. Certainly, wrongdoers will not be successful. That's verse of Surah Al-An'am, verse 135. With this concept and motion and notion, which is mixed with defiance, a concept, a way of thinking of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that is mixed with defiance, this independent soul and the confidence in what he sees as truth, Muslims stand in this life distinguished, strong, and sure of himself. He interacts with people and all challenges with poise and strength, that if he sees those around him are on the right path, he assists them and supports them. And if he found them on the wrong path, he part with them and stay independent. If it is truth, he supported willingly, assisted willingly. If it is not on the right path, he stay away and become independent. This stand and this conduct is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded his Prophet in many places in the Quran, in Surah Al-An'am, in the end of Surah Hud, in the middle of Surah Al-Zumar. And with the same, the command was directed to the Prophet Shu'aib. May God be pleased with him. Allah commanded the Prophet through the strength of his face to say, "O people, behave and function the way you are and what you accepted for yourself. I will follow the command of Allah and what he revealed of wisdom. Do what you want, do what you are accustomed to. I'm going to follow what Allah command me in the Quran with wisdom and direction. I will be steadfast on Islam, pleasing Allah in performing good deeds, upholding the truth, and enduring difficulties." He just did not join what was accustomed or what was done. He stood with his deeds following the commands of Allah. Imam al-Sa'di, talking about the etiquette of communication and the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, he said, this command clarifies the distinction, a clear distinction between the deed and the one who performs it. There is a deed and the one who performs it. There is a big difference. So you wouldn't be confused. Not because somebody is rich that he is doing everything right. Or an impostor saying he is a righteous scholar that he is actually right. Or trying to guide others. Look for the deeds. There is a distinction between the person and the deeds. As the reward will be only considered by the measure and the scale of the Almighty Allah in a clear declaration. Deeds. That's what will bring rewards in the scale of Allah, with the measure of Allah, with the standard that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set. This means the Prophet did not say he is the only one who will have the best result or the best ending. See how modesty, the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is not clearly coming out to say, I am the one who is going to have the best result. Everybody is wrong. Everybody is not on the right path. The Prophet, peace be upon him, know that the best outcome in this life and the hereafter will be to the righteous and to the pious believers. And he who denied the revelation of the prophets, all prophets, will meet the worst of outcome. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not say that directly, but he said, certainly wrongdoers will be not successful. Certainly wrongdoers. Wrongdoings is what will not be successful. Bad deeds is what will not be successful. Not supporting the truth is what will not be successful. Anyone who is unjust might enjoy what this life provides for him, as the end result will be demise and loss. Deeds will be judged on its value, on its meaning, and if it is within the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah, not he who accomplish him. If these deeds follow the command and the guidance of the Quran of the Sunnah, or the person and what he claimed and what might he be enjoying of success in this life.
There's a 3 cars blocked in the neighborhood. They're going to follow two in cars. They go blue, Nissan, and red, orange car, and a silver car, right?
I hope you heard Nissan and a yellow car outside blocking the neighbors. Somebody outside, inside this masjid, somebody within us, bringing shame to all Muslim and to our teaching. If you blocking the neighbor, if you blocking any cars wrongly parking, please move it now. Please move it now. Don't bring shame on your Muslim brothers. Follow the guidance of Islam, being good to your neighbor. This is something we mention every week, and we're going to take more time. Please, if you're blocking the neighbor, move right now and move your cars. Please. Anyone who is unjust might enjoy what this life can offer him, but in the end result will be demise and loss. Deed will be judged by its value and meaning, and if it is within the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah, not on who or he who accomplished it. It's not the person, it is the deed, my dear brothers and sisters, and the measure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in valuing it. This is how the Muslim should be, confident in his own belief, the inspiration of his guided soul, always independent and not followers, and if he was not able to make the truth prevail around him, he stay honorable and he stay independent and not to join the group, not to join whoever is around him. As Muslims, did we try to utilize the strengths in our life, the strengths of belief and goodness? Did we try to utilize it in order to actually gain the strength of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The painful truth is no, as among us followers with no opinion or conviction, responding to whoever obstructs them from going to the mosque or even going to prayer. We find others responding to the one who commands them not to spend for the sake of Allah, not to support the mosques, and not to engage in good and honorable deeds with corrupt reasoning and corrupt justification. We see that every day. People who obstruct others from good, and unfortunately, they listen to them. These weak souls consider themselves strong, thinking that strength coming from a strong body or wealth or position in the society, not a strong conviction and following the straight path of Allah and His Prophet. They seek victory, comfort, and sustenance from Allah despite their inadequacy in making Allah victorious and follow His commands. How, when we do not make Allah victorious and follow His command, expect to be victorious and expect honor and goodness? My dear brothers and sisters, the second source of strength of reflecting the settlement of faith in the heart of the Muslim is the strong desire and total commitment to reach his goal, fulfill his responsibility, and always be confident in his choices when you have a choice. Describing this noble power, Ibn Abi Shayba narrated by Imam al-Dahhak that Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, wrote to Abi Musa al-Ash'ari, talking about the strength that comes from faith, that comes from believing. Listen to the wisdom of Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, talking to one of his leaders outside. He said, strength is accomplishing deeds, is not to delay what you are supposed to do today for tomorrow. Strength in accomplishing deeds is not to delay what you are supposed to do today for tomorrow. If you do that, deed will mount, and you will not know where to start, and you will miss some. If you are given a choice between two tasks, if you were given a choice between two tasks, one for this life and the other for the hereafter, choose what will help you in the hereafter over what will help you in the earthly life, as earthly life will perish, earthly life will end, and the hereafter will always be there. Be mindful of Allah the Almighty and learn and study the book of Allah, as it is the source of all knowledge and the light of the heart. This is the real strength, is to live your life supporting the truth, strong, being mindful of Allah, not weak against sinful desires or pleasing others, just simply pleasing others on the expense of your guidance, the clear guidance of Allah and His Prophet, and to fulfill your duties and obligation to your faith that you adopt. It is imperative to put forward what will last over what will perish. And if you find yourself weak and cannot uphold your duties to your faith, then follow the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to seek help of your Lord to transform your weakness into strength in His obedience. If you cannot influence others, if you don't feel effective in spreading the truth or upholding the truth, then the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not leave you alone. He gave you a guidance. He gave you a supplication. He taught us a supplication that to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our strength in His obedience and following His guidance. Imam al-Hakim narrated that Burayd al-Aslami, may God be pleased with him, that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, supplicated. Listen to the supplication of the Prophet. O Allah, I am weak. O Allah, I am weak, so strengthen in your obedience my weakness. Strengthen in your obedience my weakness. Hold my hand to goodness and make Islam and its guidance my ultimate satisfaction. O Allah, I am weak, so make me strong. I am dishonored, so honor me. And I am poor, so provide for me. Total submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Him for the guidance, asking Him for the help. That's what you do when you feel weakness or when you feel inadequacy in applying and upholding the truth around you. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, our Prophet's supplication to his Lord to accomplish his physical, to compensate his physical weakness with strength in belief, strength in upholding the truth. This is the real strength regardless how weak the body is. And it is the strength that Allah praised of the offspring of the Prophet Ibrahim, may God be pleased with him, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Sad verse 45, and commemorate our servant Ibrahim, Isaac, and Jacob, possessors of the power and vision. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, prophet, the offspring of the prophet Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying that they are possessors of power and vision. What kind of a power? What kind of a vision? The scholar explained it that the power in accomplishing religious and righteous deeds. This is a power. When you overcome all the negativity and all the pullback to accomplish righteous deed. This is the power and vision of the knowledge of your faith and how to apply it. Seeking knowledge from the Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and applying it. Follow this real strength of faith and always apply it in your life and preparing for the hereafter, giving each other what it deserves of time and effort. We fail in giving too much time to this earthly life and not thinking, not working for the hereafter. When you do that, Allah will give you from His strength. Imagine enjoying the strength of Allah. Allah will give you His strength and bestow on you His sustenance and victory. If you feel weak, take refuge in the supplication of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that he taught Bride al-Islami, as it was narrated regarding this supplication, that whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want goodness for him, teach him this supplication and make him not to forget it. Brothers, would you please move forward? There is your brother standing out there and there is plenty of room in the front. Move closer and move forward. There is no reason for your brother to be standing out there, cannot find room. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow on us blessings of having a big masjid to accommodate all of us. Move forward. Move forward, brothers. Make room for your brothers. Don't just stand there. Move forward, please. If you find a spot in front of you, move forward. This is the etiquette of being a Muslim and being good to your brothers and being good to your neighbor. Again, the supplication of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that if Allah wants goodness for you, you will memorize it and you will not forget it. Oh Allah, I am weak, so strengthen in your obedience my weakness. Hold my hand to goodness and make Islam and its guidance my ultimate satisfaction. Oh Allah, I am weak, so make me strong. I am dishonored, so honor me. And I am poor, so provide for me. May Allah make us among those who listen, comprehend, and apply, inshallah.